I'm a Samsung person now. Yeah, one of them. Anyway, this is what I've discovered after 2 weeks of switching to the S24 Ultra from the iPhone. Yes, I really did it. This morning, I turned on my iPhone for the first time in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. This is an iPhone guy. Well, I used to be an iPhone guy, an Apple sheep, all that stuff. And that's because I have literally switched to the S24 Ultra full time. A few people didn't believe me. A few people thought it was an April Fool's joke, but that was just bad timing on my part. I've really done this. And the only reason I turned this on this morning is for this video. Everything has gone really smoothly. The only thing that didn't was the SIM card switch, because I completely forgot this has an eSIM in it. If you've tried to switch an eSIM card rather, from one phone to the other, and it's a different manufacturer, it just doesn't work. They had to send me a QR code in the post for that eSIM. Really weird. Anyway, it worked in the end, and this is now my phone. Everything I use is connected to this. So, not an Apple Watch, obviously, because I'm now using the Garmin Mark Commander. Review coming soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell if you don't want to miss that. The Whoop band, that's connected to this as well. My car is, all of my headphones, and I've got about 5 million pairs of headphones. The Ring, so this is the Ultra Human Ring Air. Again, I've got a review in the works for that. Everything I hold dear is connected to this. And no, green bubbles don't bother me because one, I use WhatsApp for pretty much all of my messaging, and two, it's just text messaging. Who cares? Now, it is early days with the S24 Ultra, but I am intending on doing this long term, unless something brings me back to the iPhone. But I'll be completely honest, guys, I don't know what that's going to be at the moment. In fact, let's start with the things that I do kind of miss from the Apple ecosystem. When I first started making notes for this video, I called this section Apple Ecosystem Regrets, and that's not right, actually, with hindsight, because I don't regret leaving the ecosystem, and actually, leaving it has been much simpler than I thought it would be. There's just a few challenges. The biggest one, and I've talked about this before, why am I suddenly wearing glasses? The biggest thing has been the ability to copy and paste stuff from the Mac to this and then vice versa, and also the same thing with images and files and things, sending a file from this to that, or an image from the Mac back to this. Not having that has been a bit of a pain in the you-know-what. And in fact, if you know of an AirDrop type solution for this phone, let me know in the comments. There are some less obvious things that I'm missing from the Apple ecosystem and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The first thing is the Apple TV Remote app, which is basically an Apple TV controller on your iPhone. Now, if you've got a small child like I have, and you've got an Apple TV with the little Apple TV Remote, you'll know how useful this is. Then we have the Find My app, which is basically an app that enables you to find things, so your Apple devices, your AirTags, people, friends and family who are in your network and who have agreed for you to find them on Find My. I thought I missed this, and then I was at the gym the other day waiting for my girlfriend to arrive, and I was looking at Find My just to see if she was nearby, and just as I got the phone out to look at it, she walked through the door. So I kind of knew where she was. The biggest problem I've encountered so far has nothing really to do with the Apple ecosystem. On the iPhone, the Whoop, the Garmin, and I think even, I've not used this on it, but I would guess as well, the Ultra Human Ring Air, it must do. They all connect to Apple Health, which means everything gets synced to that one place. On the S24 Ultra, it doesn't quite work in that way. It's really annoying, and it's got to the stage now that if I go for a run or if I go to the gym and do some weight training, I have to start the workout on the Garmin and the Whoop. If I've missed an obvious solution, guys, let me know down in the comments. But at the moment, that is all I'm missing from the iPhone. I'll come back to this in a second, but I do appreciate that a lot of iPhone people are still watching this video, hopefully, and if you are, you need to know about this video's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Moft, and this is their creator kit. It includes the Snap-on tripod stand, the Snap-on phone stand and wallet, a phone case, and a phone lanyard. And it comes in this rather lovely gift box, which once you've taken all of the Moft stuff out of it, you can use as an everyday carry organizer for your daily essentials. This isn't just for creators, by the way, but if you want to get into this game and you want your iPhone to be a big part of it, Moft basically has everything you need. The Snap-on phone stand is so handy. I use this all the time, and yes, if you have a non-MagSafe phone like this, Moft very handily gives you this, which means you can still use this with any non-MagSafe phone. And basically, you can fit a card in there, so I always put my gym card in there, but equally, you do that, and it will stand on any surface. You can turn it round. The number of times I use this throughout the day is unbelievable. And for smartphone photographers, it's a brilliant grip. And talking of taking photos, that lanyard is very handy. If you attach that to the MOFT case, which I'll come on to in a second, it just means that you can very easily whip your phone out and take a photo rather than rummaging around in your bag or your pocket and missing the moment. And speaking of the case, it's absolutely lovely. It uses Movas leather, which all of these accessories do, but the star of the show is the tripod stand. It's a brilliant grip for vlogging. You can also use it for low angle shooting, so you can get some really interesting shots. It's brilliant for top down stuff, so if you do a lot of product unboxing or demonstrations of things, this is the stand you need. You can even attach it to metal surfaces for cool shots, just like this. And if you need to make a call or watch stuff hands-free, it's perfect for that as well. To find out more, click that link in the description. Right, let's get on to my 2-week experience of this. And the rest of this video will be filmed on this. Let's start with the display, and I've never said that the iPhone 15 Pro Max doesn't have a nice display, because it does. iPhone screens are lovely, but they're not this. They're not the S24 Ultra. It's the squared off edges, it's the anti-reflective screen, which is just beautiful. Everything about this display is just lovely. And because there's no Monkey Island, it's lovely and expansive as well. And no, I've never thought the colours on this display are washed out. And that vivid mode switch thing, that bug, I didn't notice it. And that's because I just love this display. In fact, I'd completely forgotten what it was like to occasionally glance at your phone and think, that display's lovely. I don't know how Samsung keeps doing it, but they do. Next up we have the camera system, and I've spoken quite a bit about the S24 Ultra's camera system recently. I genuinely love it. It's a little bit like the display. I know there are faults, I know that the display quality and the camera quality of any phone are very subjective, but when it comes to my opinion, I love the camera on this phone. Check out the photos I've just taken of this brand new 2024 Mini Countryman. I love them, and I can guarantee that if you get one of these phones, the one thing you'll use constantly is that 5x zoom. It's optical, it's sharp, it works well in low light, and it's just so useful in so many different scenarios. The one thing that has fascinated me since switching to the S24 Ultra is that this camera works brilliantly for social media posts, which sounds really weird, but I've always relied on the iPhone for that. I've always thought that the iPhone is the best camera system for Instagram. It isn't. Way too noisy out there. I used the S24 Ultra to take these photos of the JBL spinner for Instagram, and the results were fantastic. Remember, you are listening to a long-time iPhone user, someone who has relied on the iPhone way too much. The only thing to know is that the iPhone is still a little bit more reliable when it comes to shooting fast-moving objects like dogs and children, but even then, this copes so much better than the S23 Ultra. Once again, I'm not missing the iPhone's camera system. The other thing this phone is doing to me is tempting me to try different things. So, for instance, although they're not, exclusive to the S24 Ultra, I am now using the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 4. Check out my link above to that video review. Normally, I'd have reviewed them, used them, and then I'd go back to the AirPods Pro 2. This time, I've stuck with them. So those Sennheisers are now my main earbuds, and the AirPods Pro 2, I'm not even sure where they are. And yes, I'll try decks, I'll try anything really that links to this phone and makes it a better experience. I'm even thinking potentially about going back to the Watch 6 Classic and giving that a proper go, because to be honest, I didn't give it a fair crack of the whip last time. So the S24 Ultra is definitely expanding my horizons. But there is one thing I am still struggling with. And I think you know what it is. Where is it? You know what's coming. This. I really want to like the S Pen or the Spen. Now that I'm a Samsung person, I'm happy to call it a Spen. I'm that much into this that I want to make this thing work. I just don't know how to, because if I write with it, I hate it. If I navigate the UI with it, it feels pointless. If I take photos with it by pressing the button to activate the shutter, that feels pointless. I don't know what to do with this thing, and it feels like a waste. So please let me know what I can do with the S Pen in the comments, please. And if you've enjoyed this video, give it a cheeky thumbs up. Why is it cheeky? Just give it a nice thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you know where that button is. And if you've still got time and you can't remember why I got to the point of switching from the iPhone 15 Pro Max to the S24 Ultra, keep watching for a link to that video.